Here we're going to be here, Box of Bants, and I'm really happy to be joined all the way from Boston. Well, not Boston, Springfield, Massachusetts. Tommy Hyde. Tommy, first of all, you've pretty much only announced that you're pro literally a week or two ago.
Yeah,
How's life been for you?
brilliant. It was last Friday we announced it, and everything's going great. I'm over in Boston last month now since Tuesday, so nearly 5 weeks now. So learning loads every day. I've a great team around me here with Hector Bermuda. He's after training like 6-7 world champions. So I'm learning off him and learning off all the champions in the gym at the moment. Like, so it's great being around that, having them around in the gym like all the time. So everything's going great. Can't complain.
When did how long has this decision kind of been in your head to turn over?
Like last year during the lockdowns and stuff, I was kind of thinking, will I go or won't I go? And I was over in Mexico and I did 2 weeks training in Mexico during one of the lockdowns, and I came over then to Boston to Hector this time around this time last year, maybe January last year, and I just loved the training with him and learning loads about the pro style. It's all because I wasn't getting fights at the time with the amateurs being stalled over COVID and all that. So I'm glad I waited on the extra year now. So I'm a year older now and a year better as well.
Did you was turning pro always an aspiration of yours, or was it more so you've kind of? All right, okay. So that was always the aspiration then when you're an amateur to turn pro.
Like since I started boxing when I was 7, and it was going to all the shows around Ireland, and then when my dad signed Riggando and the Cubans and all that, I was traveling to America and China and Japan, all these world title fights, and like that's where I want to be. Since then, that's where I always wanted to be, and this is how I get there now. Like,
in regards to the amateur game, were you kind of? Did you feel like you'd done your time? Did you kind of feel like you were kind of sick of it at that stage? I know there was kind of, I know there was disagreements about the choice of the under-22s last year, but like, do you feel like you were more so sick of the amateur game as well, and you were kind of ready to kind of take on the pro ranks?
I just feel like I served my time in the amateurs now. I'm 23 in May, like, so I'm after doing over 100 fights. I'm after boxing in loads of different places around the world, and after fighting for Ireland and won national titles. I got beat. It would have been great to get the elite title, but I was close twice. But I didn't want to hold on for another year and then try win it then. But just think it's the right time now. Like,
was it always a plan for your dad to manage you and promote you? Was that always the case?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like. It wasn't even talked about really. Like, it was just that was all it was going to be. He's after having 3 or 4 world champions, like, and so who better? I know I can trust him, and I never even talked about. That was always just. It was a given that my dad was going to be looking after me. Like,
the move to pros with your dad, like your dad, obviously, like you said, has a big name. Was the plan always to bring back boxing in the South and to have you fight on a few shows down south, preferably in Cork? Was that always a conversation?
No, we weren't really sure what way to go about it. But like I saying, I grew up watching the shows around Dublin and Mayo and Castlebar and all that, and the atmosphere there. That's what brought me to boxing. Like, why I wanted to start boxing. So it's great to have it at home now, like, and all my family and friends there watching. It's going to be unreal. I can't wait for it.
You and coming over to America, was it more so the coaching, or was it the isolation to get away from training here? Going to be on your own more so?
No, it's just the coaching. Like, there's no distractions at home. I trained at home as an amateur. I always trained hard. I always stay dedicated and all that. Like, but I suppose it helps as well when you're away from all that. It makes you a bit hungrier for the fight. But it is mainly the coaching. Like, the coaching out here is brilliant, and brilliant sparring, and just loving it at the moment. Like,
Yeah, yeah. What would you say in terms of the transition that you've made at the moment? What would you say, in your opinion, is the one thing that you've noticed a massive difference between the pro game and the amateur game?
Just even the sparring, doing more rounds in the sparring, but it's not just there's been loads of stuff I've been learning, like just working on defense now at the moment and placing the shots and different defenses, and it's just been there's been so much in the last few weeks now, and I just can't wait until it all starts. It's starting to come together now, and it's just going to keep getting better and better and better. Like,
Javier Fortuna fought Patrick Hyland a few years ago. Have you had any conversations in regard with your coach about that?
No, not really, not really. No,
it broke our hearts a bit.
He did, but he also he had TJ then in Japan, so TJ,
of course, yeah,
he won it back with us then with TJ, like in Japan. So
yeah,
things what ways.
Does your dad have any plans for you to fight on shows over here in Boston? Like, I imagine that's a natural progression for you as well.
Yeah, like it'd be great to get a couple of fights here at home in Cork and maybe around Ireland, but also get some fights over in America, maybe Canada, and stay busy and keep busy and make a name for myself.
Some fighters in this country with a pedigree like yourself as an amateur, people want to go about their career different ways. They either want to do the traditional level, so they want to fight for an Irish title, then they want to fight in the European, and then they'd like to fight on the world stage as a contender. Mm-hmm. And some people, others aren't really concerned about that. It doesn't really, like an Irish title or domestic fight doesn't really interest them. They would rather try move into a good test as quick as possible. For you, how do you see yourself progressing as a pro?
Myself, I'd like the Irish title, EBU title, and then go on to world titles then. Mm-hmm. But I remember watching, as I was saying already, and after saying twice already, about the fight, growing up watching fights and the European title and seeing the blue belt, and I was like, Jesus, this belt is unreal. And my dad's own fighter now, Samir Ziani, he just relinquished his EBU title, like, so that's one of the first dreams. First the Irish title, then the EBU title, and then world titles then after that.
Mm. When you retire, which touch wood will be a long, long time, when you retire, what for you in your mind is success, and what would be failure for you?
I just want big nights at home, big nights in America, and just I want to be world champion. That's the dream since I'm a child, like, and that hasn't changed. I want to be world champion and bring big fights to Cork and big fights to Ireland. Just being big fights.
Right.
I'm winning them fights as well, obviously.
That's good to hear. Any news about an opponent, anything along those lines for?
No, not yet. I just leave that up to my dad now and my trainer Hector, and just concentrate and train now and keep improving every day and getting better.
I really appreciate you giving me your time. I know
not a bother.
You're training hard for this, so yeah, thanks very much for your time.